What's up, you guys? Claak here, out with another video, and today we're just going to be going over how RESTO DRUIDs currently are after the patch. And if you don't know, go check out my other video. I suggest you go do that. It has a lot of information on the buffs on druids. And from the games that I played yesterday, I think RESTO DRUIDs are currently the best healer right now. Not by a lot, like probably by a small margin compared to Mistweaver and Holy Pounder, but we're definitely stronger. We're definitely stronger. So as a RESTO Druid, this is a really awesome feeling because RESTO Druids have sucked so much in the past. Yeah, at the start of this expansion, we were super good, but we got nerfed so hard because we were so good. And Blizzard is not good at nerfing and buffing things. If you played WoW for a while, you'll know that Blizzard is really bad at doing this because like there's so many classes right now that are unplayable in certain specs, and that's never fun. And I think everything should be viable. I think everything should be not like so strong, but they should be strong enough to be the point where they're able to be played, and you know, people are able to play whatever they want pretty much and be able to do decently well. I don't think there should ever be a time where a class or a spec should suck so bad where you don't even get to play it because no one wants to play with you because it's just so garbage. So this video, it's not really directly a review over 3v3 gameplay, but it kind of is, because at the same time I'm going to be talking about what comps you should be running and what comps you should not be running and what you should be looking out for and all that good stuff, just to try to help you out as much as a player as I can. I want you guys to do well. I want you guys to be able to push that rating, because if you guys are able to push that rating, that means, you know, people are enjoying the game more, they're focused, and you know, they're just being more competitive. And being competitive for this game, I think, is really important for it to survive, especially in the PvE aspect. I think currently it just I don't think even PvEers are kind of happy. As a PvPer myself, I'm kind of happy. You know, I'm not like ecstatic or anything, but it's not in the worst state I've ever seen it. And again, this is all footage from yesterday, and if you didn't know, I stream every single day, or at least try to, on www.twitch.tv/Claak. And if you have any questions, if I don't say something in this video, you can go ahead and go over there and, you know, ask me a question, be like, hey Claak, what talents do I run, what Azurites do I run, and I'll try my best to be able to help you out. So for my comp that I am running, it's not a good comp at all. Do not recommend it. As a RESTO Druid, I highly recommend you run like hybrid comps, like a caster / melee, or even double caster comps, which tend to be like dampening, like, you know, running like LE, Shadow Priest, RESTO Druid. Stuff like that is really good, but be prepared. Those are dampening comps. They will last a long time, like 10 to 15 minutes. If you're lucky, you might get like a 2 to 3 minute game. But you will do well, and it is very strong, but again, it's very dampening, so it's really hard to be attentive and trying to play your best the whole 10 to 15 minutes. But I think as a player, it will help you grow, because again, if you're playing for 10 to 15 minutes in kind of an intense match, it helps you grow as a player, and you start to learn what to look out for and stuff like that. So it's very huge. So again, I'm running a RESTO Druid Hunter DK, and we're facing a double Shaman and Windwalker. Now here, this is super scary. Honestly, I probably should run Thorns here. I'm probably never going to get Cyclone off, and I'm going to run Nourish. And you might be thinking, hey, you're never going to get any cast off because there's double Wind Shear. Wind Shear is actually the strongest kick in the game. And then you also have Monks, saps, and stuns and stuff like that. So you do have quite a bit to look out for. You even have to look out for the hexes if the Shamans do it. But I don't think in this game they don't really exactly go for the hexes, but they do get the Wind Shears and stuff like that. At least the Enhancement Shaman did. I think the rest of Shaman should have maybe pushed up and played a little bit more aggressive. Again, it's really scary because they're going to be spamming Purge, and they're going to have a lot of damage. As you're going to see, we're going to blow through a lot of cooldowns at the very start of the game. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm just hotting up everyone that I think they're going to go. I think they're mainly going to go my Hunter. So I put my Life Blooms on the Hunter. And, you know, so the main goal here is honestly just to sit back and try to max range the saps, which he just got a sap on me. That's okay, because it's really hard to avoid that because they have so much mobility. They can just roll to you and get the sap and roll back in. So even if you're like, I don't know, like over here, if you're over here, you wouldn't even be able to heal that because your teammates are so deep. My teammates are deep right now because both the Shamans are on top of each other. As you can see, they got the rest of the Shaman into a stun, which they're probably going to trap out of that, at least try to get a trap. and we're going hammy onto the Shaman currently. So again, just play defensive. You don't have to go in and get clones. It's going to be nearly impossible with that grounding. As you see that the rest of the Shaman just dropped. He dropped it because of the trap, not for the Cyclone. But it's not worth to run up there and to get CC'd even more, because they have so many kicks for you. They have so many kicks. It's you versus like practically 3 people in terms of like kicking and getting CC'd. It's not worth it. Sit back, make them, if they want to do something, make them come to you. Try to outplay them by doing that. You don't have to play aggressive. I always say this, but a defensive druid is probably always the best druid. You always want to have a defensive mindset, unless you play comps like RMD, Rogue Mage Druid. As a druid, you have to kind of play aggressive to be able to troll the game, to be able to get kills. Yeah, stuff like that. That's a really fun comp. This comp that I ran is really short games. They're kind of fun, really hard to heal, but I enjoy it really. So I'm moving up right now. I'm debating whether I want to go in and try to get a bash onto the healer, but I see that he's stunned, so maybe I could go in to get a bash on the Windwalker or Enhancement Shaman. But it's always not the best idea. So they're doing their burst, so it's not even worth for me to go up there and try to get like this done, because right now is healing mode. They get a lot of cooldowns from us. There was a touch of death onto my hunter, so I pop wall into him. My DK ends up popping Icebound because he's taking some damage and stuff like that, so it helps reduce. As you can see, that the Enhancement Shaman is running up to me because he wants to be close enough to me to be able to get wind shears, making my job a lot harder. So I'm gonna, again, you're gonna see me reacting to that and kind of running back and trying to get hots up. The Shaman does get a couple of wind shears on me because the range of wind shear is very long. You literally have to max range it, and to max range it would mean sometimes your teammates would be running in and out of your range to be able to heal them. So it's very hard. It's very hard, and it causes a lot of stress, but it's almost necessary. So if that rest, you see how low they got to my hunter, and he had to pop turtle with that one wind shear. That's the kind of danger that you're going to be in if they're able to get that one wind shear. So that's really important to max range it. If you do get kicked, even if you don't get kicked and you're sitting there and juking, you're still wasting time. So it's a lot of pressure. As you can see, they got turtle for my hunter again. My TK's falling low, and he already popped Icebound. Stuff is not looking too good right here. I am omega scared at this point. Omega. And there's not a whole lot that I can do except for just try my best out, heal it. The Shaman has wind shear coming up. If I would go closer to, again, for instance, if your head is thinking, oh, you should go for a clone, one, you shouldn't do that because your buddy is really low. He's 35%. Yeah, he has all hots, but to be able to top him off, especially during Ascendant still from the Enhancement Shaman, you're gonna have to spend all your globals onto your teammates so they don't die. So for instance, if I would go up here and try to get a Cyclone onto the Enhancement Shaman or Windwalker, I'm gonna have to deal with saps again. He has wind shear up again. And again, if I come up here, the rest of your Shaman is going to be even closer to me, so I'm going to have to deal with his wind shear and also grounding. So it's really not worth. I didn't even mean to go into Cyclone. I was talking to my chat at this time, and I kind of looked too late. I should have went Thorns. It would have caused another thing for them to purge, and it would, you know, it would have helped out a decent amount. It wouldn't have helped out a huge amount, but it would have helped out regardless. So again, I'm going to the only spot that I can kind of be going. I can go over here, you can go over there. The problem is if you go over here, you're kind of trapped. There's nowhere else to go. You can't go over here. So it's probably best if I would have swapped around here, down this way, actually. That probably would have been 100% the best. So as you can see, I have full hots. I am trying my very best to top this dude up. This is very stressful. It's not fun to heal. As you can see, the Windwalker just came up to me to sap me, and it's really easy. And my teammates are really close to me. They kind of got to go where they go. Sometimes if they want to be able to cause pressure, we can't always be on the defense. So it's up to me, to my best ability, to get away as far as possible. They get my hunter really low again. I end up popping Iron Bark onto him. I top him off with one big overgrowth heal and overgrowth and regrowth, which is the Soul Forest proc, is really nice. I'm so close to this guy. I finally said, fuck it. I want to get a CC. I get a bash onto the rest of Shaman, and I'm making my distance again on their side because they pushed up on me. I could go over here. I can go over there. You really just want to try to get away as much as possible. while hotting your teammates, and it's a lot of pressure on me. As you can see, like they're both like 50%. I'm trying my best to keep them up as best as I can. They have wind shear, they have double wind shear, so I'm looking out for double wind shears. I'm looking up if they're coming towards me to get that wind shear. Again, if that shaman was probably, this is probably out of range, but if he was like right here, he would be able to get the wind shear. That's how far the range is. It's a 12-second cooldown. I end up actually able to get a lot of hots on them. And you know, we're looking really good. If any time was a good time to try to like get a clone, this would probably be it. They are so under pressure that they probably wouldn't even see my cyclone, because they'd be tunnel visioning on that guy's HP being like 10%. So this would actually be an okay time to get a clone. But again, very aggressive. Still going to be kind of scary, because if I do get locked out, you remember what happened last time as I got locked out, my guy like almost died. So it's very scary. I'm trying my best to, you know, keep them up. There's one lockout. I end up getting sapped. That was actually good that they overlapped that. Could you imagine if they wind sheared and then sapped out of that wind shear? It was a miscommunication. They could have probably even got a kill off of that. But as you can see, just off of that one wind shear, look how much pressure they have. Very scary. So in the end, it looks like actually playing defensive ends up working out for me. It's very hard. They're doing a lot of pressure. Again, I think their problem was that, one, either the enhancement shaman or resto shaman could have been spamming purge a little bit more to hurt me just on my global cooldowns. I think they should play even more Mongo. I think the resto shaman should even be near me so that he can get some wind shears on me. If they would have done that, I think they would have probably had a lot more pressure than they already had, which was a crap ton. We get karma from the Windwalker. The shaman drops grounding, and I don't think that was a very good grounding. That Resto Shaman popped grounding probably because of the DK's kick, but you know, Trap is going to be coming up off the DR in 3 seconds, and he's going to be able to stun him, so he's going to eat a lot of CC. If I were that guy, I'd be trying to save a grounding for traps and shit like that. And here's our go. We get a double stun into the Resto Shaman and Enhancement Shaman. We're going to try to get a trap. We're not able to get it because the Enhancement Shaman now drops his grounding totem, so we do have to go through double. There's touch of death onto my hunter. Not a whole lot of pressure right now, because we're in the lead right now. We're in the lead. The shaman's mana is hurting. Their enhancement shaman is constantly like 30% HP, so he's gonna be running a lot, while the Windwalker is gonna be trying to do as much damage as he can to get a lot of pressure out. So again, look at my positioning. I'm always trying to stay max range, but I end up having to come up here because my DK's in a hex. So I end up actually dispelling him, and I kind of have to stay here a little bit, because if I want to be able to haunt my teammate, my DK, and my hunter, or like so split, I have to kind of be up here just to be able to heal him. But that's okay, because we're in the lead. Like you can get away with stuff like that. I would preferably like to be right here, and then my hunter be like right here. But you know, you kind of have to make do with whatever you can. As you can see, the Windwalker is controlling my hunter. My hunter is trying his best to get to the Enhancement Shaman, and down goes their Enhancement Shaman. So as you can see, I was kind of like a PvE heal bot. That's as a Resto Druid, it's really healing intense. There's not a whole lot you got to look out for except for just playing defensive. I know it might be kind of one-minded. A lot of people that might disagree, but I feel like the people that disagree just don't simply, they don't understand the game, or they don't play Resto Druid. They don't know what it's like to go in for a clone, to get one kick and like your teammates just die, because your hots are generally not that good right now. They're really not. They're better now since they got buffed, but they're not so much to the point where I can pre-hot everyone to the max and be able to go get clones and not get punished for it like we used to. Like back in the Wrath of the Lich King, you could put full hots and go for clones. If you got kicked, it would have been big woo, because your teammate would only go down like, you know, 20% or something like that, 20-30%. You weren't punished as hard as you are today. I think these games are a lot more fast-paced than they were back then. I wish the Resto Druid play style of me playing aggressive and being able to get clones and pre-hotting stuff like that was back. I wish that was the best way. Again, that you can only get away with that with certain comps like this, where it's them doing all the damage and me just sitting back. It's not that fun, but I do enjoy it. If you want to run a comp where you feel like you get to use your class to the fullest, I would suggest playing like RMD, Rogue Mage Druid, or Windwalker Mage Druid. Those are really fun comps to run because you have to do so much. You have to pre-hot, you have to go in for cyclones. If you don't get cyclones, you won't get the kill. And stuff like that makes you feel like it's really meaning. It definitely shows your skill cap as a Druid, I think, a lot higher than this comp. There's not a whole lot I can do to be like, I'm a fucking god. Look at me, PvE heal bot. You know what I mean? And I don't think it's very entertaining for a lot of people to watch because I'm just playing as defensive as possible. Anyways, guys, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and sub to help a brother out. And maybe a Twitch Prime. If you could throw a Twitch Prime in the comment section or something like that, that'd be pretty cool. But anyways, take it easy, guys. Take it easy.